single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make.
Hey guys, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin. It is Wednesday, our usual Wednesday show. Before we start, let's put some housekeeping out of the way so that I don't have to keep repeating this because it's forever, like forever, that I had to talk about this. Okay, now if you're watching this, you want to be part of the Shadow Smokers Legion. We are invite only, but it's not that hard to find someone in a chat like this to communicate, get to know somebody, and then they will throw you an invite. We have plenty of members that just basically get bothered by other members enough that they will just send them an invite. All right. So if you don't think that you can go through the process of looking for another member and eventually get invited, you are not suitable for Shadow Smokers Legion. Okay, there's a 90-day probation period after you get invited, but you need to be invited. And to get invited, there's plenty of members all over the place that will throw you the invite if you get to know them. So get to know them, and then eventually you'll be like, why the hell you're not a member yet? All right, we have members like Quake, Val. They are people that just be on our chat room, like this kind of show, all the time, Wednesday and Saturday, and they eventually were like, why are you not a member yet? And then just throw them an invite. So get to know the people, you'll be invited. All right, so because I keep getting the messages like, Tony, how do I join Shadow Smokers Legion? And as soon as like, is it invite only? They're like, too much for me. Yeah, that if it's too much for you, it's probably too much for you. Okay, want to put it out there in the very beginning of the video, so you know, you're not like, oh my god, how did I do that? You know, it's in the video right now, in the beginning. Okay. All right, so drinking some hot water, trying to warm up my throat so that I won't be coughing like crazy because I was an idiot. I walked downstairs, drink something really cold, so I'm start coughing again. But hopefully it will be like a miracle like last time. After I smoke for a little bit, coughing goes away. So drinking some hot water, warm up my throat, and hopefully I won't be coughing so much. Ooh, hot water is hot. So today we're gonna talk about this cigar that I bought on Honduras. We'll do a review on this. As you can see, it's $60 on this thing. All right, for 5 cigars. All right, so that's average out to what, $12? So I want to try this and let you know whether or not you should be wasting money, or this is a horrible buy, or if this is a good buy when you go to a trip that goes to Honduras. You know, it's not like we don't have Honduras cigars over in the US, but let's smoke the local one to find out whether or not it's worth the $12. So hopefully I won't cough to death today, because this cough is bad. It's staying. So hopefully I have to continue. So all the other cigar material is leaving YouTube, so I have to be standing here still for you guys, so that we constantly have something about cigars fighting YouTube, because we're not sponsored. There's no sponsor message. All right. Called Alexandra Violette, 1913. All right, 5 Puros vintage. They stated that this was made over there at their factory on the mainland side of things, and the island that we're on, they just move it, even though they're called cigar factory over there. But it's not really cigar factory. And we'll look at constructions and everything. First of all, what the hell? I don't know if you guys can see this. The band is all the way to the top. And I think it's just so that it can fit this thing. But that's just a number one tell sign that the construction, what the fuck? What the fuck? Right? So I'm already worried about this. I'm already worried about this. I'm already worried about this. Okay. So I don't know why they tape up the ends just so it's packaging. And they just put it on the shelf. There's like no Bavita pack or anything, but I would think that, the humidity is very high over there. The heat is very high over there too. So I don't know if that factors in there anything, but cigar company shouldn't know. It is humid though over there. This thing is very hard to open. Holy shit. In the car. Yep. Okay. Banners that will make it easier to remove. About the storm here is nice and cool. Oh, okay. All right, so the cellar is relatively yellow. Because I can tell you that when I was there, it's not busy. It's not busy. I like the only one in there, so it's not busy. Because the way they taped it out, the bottom is already like kind of like opened up. And the band. All right. I can move it down a little bit without killing this cigar. I can move it down a little bit. It is I like to say double capped or triple capped. So there's cap there. Not just one cap, I guess that's a good thing. Let me cut it. Good cutter, so cut is good. Draw is, I say it's okay. It's a passing. Okay. It's very possible. Honduras tobacco. Okay. First cup of puff doesn't count. Let's just keep going. Light well. A little bit more. All right. So initial thought about the cigar. It's like a boring Camacho, Connecticut with a hint of bitterness. It's not a very bad bitterness. It has a hint of bitterness to it. But like, when you smoke up a Camacho, Connecticut, and this is a Puro, right? So it's all that same tobacco from the same region. It's woodsy. It has that cedariness. It's got that little bit saltiness to it. which resulted in a little bit of bitterness. I think in the end, it's very underwhelming. Hey, Michael, which cigars that you carry uses Honduras tobacco? Off the top of your head, that I might have. You know, this kind of reminds me a little bit of one of the Bullfighter cigars. A little bit. It has that hint of that flavor. But yeah, what I might have, that's comparison. Comparison. I could just take out another Camacho. But I at this point I already took a few puffs, right? I can tell you that Camacho is better by a lot. You know, this thing, yeah, it has a bitterness. This thing tastes like a Camacho, but instead you take off something and fill it with like, I don't know, tasteless cardboard or something like that. The cardboard is burnt. But overall flavor is Honduras cigar. But it's missing something. It's missing. It's missing something. And for a $12 cigar. Winter is like cigar it's tourist trap. But let's talk about based on the price, right? $12 cigars. And a little bit bitter. A little bit bitter. Yeah, right. I it reminds me of the Warfighter, but the Warfighter was better. Cuevas, which Cuevas? Just regular Connecticut Cuevas has Honduras? What do you know? My Cueva box does not have Cueva box. Alright. Now, for me, the core line was more blend, but it wasn't bitter for the Cuevas. But if I was to compare the same price range, which would be a Reserva Connecticut, I will say immediately the Reserva Connecticut is better. This thing, surprisingly, it keeps humidity very moist. It does have that flavor, but it also, like I said, has that bitterness to it. So it's like you take a puff and it's like it's better, and they go bad, right? Because that bitterness burns. It just had that unpleasant bitterness, as if something that shouldn't be in there is there. I don't know. Your ashtray. I don't know. It's got that barnyard, maybe like grain flavor to it that Honduras have, like that sweetness. But it ends with a bitter note, and that bitter note is really bitter. It's not bad bitter, but it's bitter. For $12. Yeah, it's bitter. I don't know why. I'm not really overheating it per se. You know, it's the burn line is down, it's okay, and then it's already in for a while now. But it's got that bitterness that shouldn't be. Martin! Alright, I got my thing here. I'll change to chat camera. There we go. So I'm smoking this Honduras cigar here. It's 2013. I don't know why 2013, but yeah, I remember smoking one of the Warfighter that tastes very similar to this, but did not have this kind of bitterness. So, and Warfighter was cheaper. I think it was like.
Your audio keeps fading.
You know what?
Your audio keeps fading, like you're going away.
Yeah, because I was leading away.
Oh.
I don't want to be too
Also,
close where the
camera.
smoke gets me.
Yeah.
Let me turn this a little bit.
You're feeling better?
I'm still coughing, but if I drink some hot water, it kind of dies down a little bit.
No tea?
No, tea actually makes it worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know
So
that.
water, you know, smoking a cigar with just water, Brendan will be proud of me. Anyway,
Topo Chico?
I can't drink Topo Chico because the fizz tickles my throat. I've been having an issue finding Topo Chico lately around me.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
So as if all the transit from Mexico is gone. Not that they were made in Mexico. They are just Coca-Cola company.
Yeah. Originally, they were made in Mexico, Monterrey, Mexico.
I did find, I don't know if I saw in your post or whatever, this malt, like a Mexican malt soda.
Malt soda. No, it couldn't have been me.
But I bought 2 bottles. I'll drink it some other time when I can. It's just like I seen this logo somewhere. I bought a couple bottles and drink it. So yeah, what are you smoking today? That looks like an Edge.
Isn't it? It's the A10 Edge.
Oh, the barber pole?
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, I'm smoking this. I'm already regretting it.
Because you can't taste anything.
It doesn't taste that good.
You taste tortillas. Burnt tortillas.
It doesn't taste that good. No, I know I can taste some cigar flavor for sure. I can taste it. But like this, it's just not that good. I wanted to light up another cigar as a comparison because it's Honduras cigar. To kind of tell like it's not my taste bud that's screwing around. No. I did buy some cigar today. It's upstairs. I forgot to bring it. One of the things that I don't buy is Casa Cueva's Core Line Connecticut because the Reserva Connecticut is just so much better. So I don't even have that to compare. What?
They're both good.
They're good, but I just feel like the Reserva Natural are just so much better. For the money that you're adding onto it, it's that much better. Significantly better.
What
So
is Michael Wells doing? He should be on here.
he's just too hot.
He's complaining it's too hot.
That's what he says. Hopefully the temperature dies down.
What?
If we have a Grand Habano, they are truly the Honduran. You know, I don't have Grand Habano. Don't. Only one that I know I have right now is Camacho. That is definitely in the Honduras tobacco.
This was under him.
But it'll be a huge waste. You know what? I'm gonna smoke a Camacho. If it's better than this, I probably continue to smoke the Camacho.
What are you smoking?
It's the cigar that I got from Honduras.
Oh yeah.
And it's a Honduras Puro. It says aged for like 7 years or something like that. And and I will send you some. I don't mind.
Well, I can already tell you, I'm not a fan of Honduras tobacco.
I can send you it with this sticker, and then you can go ahead and because it really isn't that good. Damn it.
Well, I mean,
All right. So I'm also gonna light up this Camacho box press. It's cheaper than this. Right? I think this is like $9 or something like that. I can't remember. Or $8. $9, $8.
the
It's
Camacho,
cheaper
yeah.
than this.
I
What?
think the Toro's about. I think the Toro's about $9.
This is
press.
box press.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's definitely cheaper than this.
Michael Wells needs to quit bitching.
105 out. All right. The Camacho draw is better than that already. I know there's no tree in here. But not saying that the other one has a tree in there either. It's acceptable. Draw. And light this up. And I will tell you the difference. Because we now know Camacho, Connecticut is definitely...
Sounds like a sauna. No, there's no humidity in Arizona. You come to Texas right around July, you get about 105 with humidity, and then it feels exciting.
All right. Yep. They taste very similar. No bitterness in this one. Bitterness in this one. But this one has a little bit of spice to it. I don't know.
We got mosquitoes out. I gotta keep
Yeah,
spraying
this-
myself off.
It tastes like... What is that? Oh, bug off?
Sponsor Martina Maya.
Definitely not sponsored. Don't flag this, Facebook. I mean, YouTube. Don't flag this, YouTube. It's not sponsored. There's no link to anywhere.
Yeah, no links.
You know, I warned Martin and he didn't believe me. He got flagged.
Yeah.
At least it's only the first flag. I got 2 more to go.
Well, Bob the Cigar Guy got a second strike.
Who?
Did you see that? Bob the Cigar Guy, he got a second strike.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep, he did.
Use any link, any advertisement on the side, I'll count. This is why so many people are leaving. I have to say, I'm definitely not used to not seeing Martin's video every 2 days.
Yeah. Trust me, Friday, there will be a video.
And then ding, Saturday, another email.
Again.
I don't know. All right. The flavor on this one is a little bit more pungent. But it's got that bitterness at the end. Flavor on Camacho is less pungent. But it's towards the sweeter side. And there is no bitterness at the end. And Camacho has a little bit of pepper to it. So which one would you buy? Which one would I buy? I definitely would not buy this shit again.
I mean, I like the Camacho Connecticut. The box press or the regular Parejo. So you're saying that that one is bad, the one that you got?
The one I got is bad. Like, unless you like that kind of bitterness, I don't understand. Like, it tastes like a paper box burning.
So cardboard.
Yeah, like a cardboard burning taste to it. It's bitter. But in the beginning, you get a lot of that Honduras flavor, right? It's just, is it $12 worth for a Robusto?
No.
Definitely not. And then, like, you're spending all the time and effort.
For $12, you can get the pledge from Little Gas Cigar Shop.
It could.
Yeah.
I mean, for $12, you have a lot of choices.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Wells is gonna get on. So we'll see if he can. Let's see if it's the same link. There we go. Let's give a moment for Brendan. Just set it up, no echoes and everything.
Oh, we're set.
Is that okay? So Brendan, tell Michael stop being a little girl and get out there to smoke a cigar with us.
Oh, is Michael looking at this thing? Why is Michael being such a little bitch and not getting on
That's
here?
that's what I said.
Right. I mean, dude, I'm in the same state as you, bro, and I'm smoking right now, so I don't know what your problem is.
He says it's 105 degrees out there.
He's lying. It's 111.
So, Brendan, I'm smoking this Honduras Puro that I purchased on a cruise to Honduras.
Okay.
It's $12 a cigar. All right.
Yeah.
The whole pack is $60. $12 a cigar. And it tastes horrible.
Yeah,
right?
it will. It's hard.
And then I said that it does remind me, the flavor does remind me of the Warfighter. And maybe, no, hold on. The Warfighter.
This thing's terrible. It reminds me of one of
No. I said the flavor reminds me of Warfighter, but Warfighter was better.
Martina Maya review, dude.
No. Let me finish my
Okay.
my diagnose, right? I said it reminds me of Warfighter, but Warfighter was a lot better. And it reminds me of Casa Cueva Coraline, but Casa Cueva Coraline was better because it didn't have that burnt paper taste at the end.
Sure.
There's burnt paper taste in this thing. So
are you sure you took the cellophane off?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I did. And I lit up a Camacho, which we all know is Honduras as well. But even Camacho at cheaper price, it did not have that burnt taste.
Yeah. There's a reason why there's not a lot of Honduran Puros out there.
So this cigar is pretty bad. Now I've been telling people, if you go on a trip, don't waste your money. Bring your own cigar.
Yeah.
Because at $12, I would say this is a tourist trap. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
But I mean, at the same time, you have people that are going to want to go experience, the new cigars, the cigars that they have here in this country that I can't get in my country, blah, blah, blah. So there's the excitement of that.
But you can get Honduras cigar in the U.S.
I know, but like the stuff that they have there that is not in the U.S. So it's just the fact that you're buying cigars you don't normally see to try, and they're not going to be as good.
And I honestly think that based on memory, I think the Gran Habano was better than this too. And Gran Habano is, to me, that's almost similar to a Bando cigar because of price. But it was better than this. So I don't know. If you're a traveler and you go on a Honduras tourist attraction, don't spend the $55 to take a taxi over there. Long ass trip. All right. And also, I wouldn't go by this.
Listen, if you're traveling, I wouldn't go to Honduras in the first place. That's not the place you sit down and you go, I feel like getting shot or possibly kidnapped today.
Well, it's one of the cruising destination, right? Cruising destination.
Is it still that bad there?
There's your little like port city that's cool. The rest of it, nah.
Yeah, you don't want to go to the mainland part. You want to go to that island, which is all tourists.
Yeah.
And beach. That's all you get there. I mean, I didn't do much. I went over there, bought some cigar, eat lunch, and went back. Okay. But I can tell you, the two cigar shop that I went to, one of them I bought this, which is definitely a tourist trap. Everything was more expensive. Nothing is humidified. It's just let the nature humidify the cigar.
I mean, it's just humid
Well,
there.
Miami's the same way.
Okay, and
Actually, in most of those places, you'll find more dehumidifiers than you will humidifiers. To be honest with you.
true.
Yeah.
And they definitely try to push their fake Cubans there.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
You can tell right away that's so fake that even I can make a better fake.
You know, but those are for the people that, you know, let's say my dad goes on a cruise and he knows I love cigars.
Mhm.
So, and he knows jack squat diddly about cigars other than they stink. And so he goes on this cruise and he thinks, oh, I'm going to do something really nice for my son. I'm going to spend $100 on these 5 Cuban cigars because you can't get them in the US. And I bought the story. And he brings them home, and then I cut them open with a razor blade and show him the rat hair, the plastic, the cardboard, and the chopped up tobacco that's inside of there. But that's what those are for. It's for those people that are that way.
It was so poorly done that you could tell right away it is. But the guy pushed you like with like peer pressure and everything, and you just want to buy something for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely not good, and it's got some flavor. It's still a cigar. It's just not a properly blended cigar, in my opinion. It's poorly blended. Now, when I go to a legitimate cigar shop over there, they sell Rocky Patel's, Buen Habano, Acid. I think there was another one or two another brand like the Liga Privada or something like that. They sell the same cigar you can buy here.
Well, and that's because Rocky has a factory in Honduras and Gran Habano's factories in Honduras. So they're not even having to import that stuff. They're selling what they can get right there on that island.
So I think with that, just tell any of the tourists in the future that you're touring, bring your own cigar. Don't bother to go, you know what, hey, it's, you know, third world country. I want to go to the cigar shop, you know, freshly rolled there and all that stuff. It's not. It's the same thing that you get it here. And you probably get it better here. Like, now that I'm smoking this, I'm like regretting every moment of this.
Then throw it away and get a different cigar.
Well, I'm doing a review on this, so I kind of have to.
Oh, gotcha.
You'll be proud of me because I'm drinking hot water.
I am proud of you for that. That's well done, sir.
Because I'll be coughing if I drink anything else.
That COVID's still getting you, huh?
You know, I tested negative today, so I know I'm negative. Internal everything else, but like, you know.
Well, we all knew that.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
negative for COVID. Okay.
Yeah, I'm negative for COVID and, you know, personality and shit, you know.
Right. Isn't that your job to be negative?
It is. You know. Good thing I haven't started working yet. I'll be bitching everybody else.
Right?
So.
Yeah, when you weren't working, dude, you needed a job.
Yeah, I need a job.
I got all this pent up. I got to get it out.
Yeah, I need to just stop bitching at people.
Yeah.
But yeah, smoking this thing, it's a disappointment, man. It's a disappointment.
Don't cry, Tony.
I'm gonna send one of these to Martin. Once he smoked this thing, he's gotta like everything else.
You're gonna make me cry.
He's gotta like everything else that every other brand produces, because it's so weird. It's like I gotta, let's say it's almost like I got a recipe for Coca-Cola and I tried to make Coca-Cola at home and I drink it. That's how this tastes like. Right?
So I think if Martin smokes that, send him one, because then he might actually like the brands I represent.
All right. Right? So Martin, smoke one of these and then go review on a Gran Habano or Casa Cuevas. You're like, that cigar is great.
Which actually, I will give you this, Martin. Like, dude, like your posts have been great lately. I've really been enjoying it. Like, you know, you've been giving some love to the brands that I do represent, and I know that's not because I represent them. You hate me, but no, I'm kidding, dude. But dude, it's been cool because I've been noticing some of these. I'm like, oh, I can repost this shit finally because it's actually saying something nice about one of my brands.
So what you're saying is that Martin needs to be dinged by YouTube more, so he'll post more nice stuff because he's all more, you know.
Well, I think his palate's finally maturing to where he can finally taste the cigars, and now he's experiencing what these.
He went through one case of COVID, and everything else tastes right now.
Everything changed. got COVID and everything changed.
Yeah, and it does.
All right. So
you-
in terms of Honduras cigar, Brendan, what would you recommend
Nothing.
of all the brands out there? You would not recommend any tobacco that has Honduras in it. Honduras tobaccos in it.
Honduran puros? No.
No, blend it.
Oh well, I mean, dude, that's a slew of stuff, man. That's a whole.
Give me three. Give me top three that you would recommend people to. If somebody
Good
say, I
word.
like Honduras tobacco.
Okay, I've got one.
Fire away, Martin. What are you saying?
The Aroa 20-year.
I don't think I've smoked that.
That's a good one. And the Colorado wrapper.
Okay. I don't think I've smoked that. I'm trying to think.
What was that face?
It was really bitter.
Oh,
It tastes like medicine.
oh, dude, why are you smoking that still? I mean, dude, you did your review. You did your job. How far are
I'm
you
about to
into it?
stop. I'm thinking what to smoke right now to cover that up. Even though I already lit up a Camacho, I want something better. Give me a moment. Why you guys came out with the top three?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what.
See, okay, there's not a whole.
You know,
lot of
come on, man.
tobacco that I like.
Brendan, it's not like that's your job, right? To figure out what people want.
It is, but there's not a lot of people that come in and go, I love Honduran tobacco. I don't think that's ever happened. Everybody comes in and tells me they like Cuban, they like, whatever. Matter of fact, I was doing an event with Luis and Alec Cuevas one time. And this guy, I wanted to play that little game where it's like Super Troopers, where they see, how many times you can say meow. Have you seen that when they're like, they pull a guy over and he's like, license registration, meow.
Oh my God.
So like that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to see how many times I could say the word Cuban, and I lost count. But I just was having fun saying the word Cuban, and these guys come in and they go, "Oh, I'm looking for a Cuban," and I mean, all I could do was just turn and point at Lewis and Alec, and I go, "Well, they're Cuban." And they both turned and looked at me, and the guy looked at me, and I said, "Well, you said you were looking for a Cuban. They're Cuban. If you're looking for a Cuban cigar, I can't help you, but there's two Cubans right there. Go talk to them." And the guy kind of realized that was a dumb statement to make when you walk into an American humidor and you want to sound educated, like you know what the hell you're talking about. I only smoke Cuban cigars. No, you smoke Mexico, chopped crap junk when you're down drunk off your ass in, wherever, Mexico.
I watched this YouTube video that was from like it's talking about tobacco, and then they were talking about how cigarette was like #1 made tobacco and other stuff in the U.S. because they were cheaply made and they're easily made, and they talk about what they're in there, and they said only 50% are tobacco, the other 50% is floor sweepings. So
yeah,
companies actually buy leftover and floor sweepings from tobacco company that roll cigars and return it to them as floor sweepings. They call it recon. So
yeah, so Warfighter, they have their short fill one, and it's the floor sweepings, and it's called the dumpster fire, because it's the stuff that you just throw away. It's not actually. It's good quality tobacco. It's just chopped ends, So you might roll a cigar, an inch too long, every single time when you're rolling Robustos, and they get cut down. That's why you have the perfectly cut edge on it. I will tell you this, that Casa Cuevas sells they don't do a single short fill cigar out of their factory, period, for nobody, end of story, for nothing. So they take all of their floor sweepings and they sell those, and it pays for 10 months of rent at their humidor.
Wow.
Or at their factory. It pays for 10 months worth of factory rent, just selling the chops.
Yeah. So when they say floor sweeping, I think about actual floor sweeping with hairs and dust and all that stuff. Now, I know people's like, oh, that's disgusting. They make sure that you don't feel nearly as disgusting by taking all those tobacco, which is really bad already, and wash them in a water tank. And then they let them like get bigger because they absorb some water, and they use that as portion of the cigarette.
Well, what they actually do is they run it through a trommel system. So there's a series of conveyor belts that all that floor fill will go through, all the floor sweepings will go through, and they'll have one big trommel. And I think I talked about this last time. Oh, yes, Martine, you raised your hand.
Just letting you guys know. I'll be right back. My little
Okay.
cousin wants to
All
go.
right,
do
all right,
something.
get
I'll
out of
be
here.
right
Get out of here. Come back.
back.
Bye, Felicia. They'll run through a trauma. One's to get out feathers and hair, another one's to get out paper. One, they've got a magnet that takes out the metals. Another one removes the dirt and the very, very fines, all the fines and everything out of that. So they do run through a cleaning process before it even, and a lot of times they don't even get washed. It's just running through the cleaning process of removing all the inferior product from there.
The one I watched, they talk about specific for cigarette. So they went through
cigarette,
conveyor belt, went through this wash that makes the tobacco bigger because they swell. And then it goes out to another wash, which is not water anymore. It's whatever additive they want to add in there.
Yeah.
And soak it. And it comes out and then make it into this mash. And then they chop it even finer to a specific size. And then it goes to roll. So that's why people is like, okay, so when you say additive, what is the additive, right? And that's what it is. They take the floor sweeping, wash it, and then put it into their additive. And there's definitely a second barrel that has additive because they talk about this. And then comes out and then mix it with their 50% tobacco, which makes it tobacco. And then, so 50% of your cigarette is already junk. So you have less than 50% of your cigarette being junk. And then you have the paper. And then they said before there was no filter until they realized that people are dying from lung cancer. And then they added that filter.
Yep.
And that filter doesn't do anything because they say that literally doesn't do anything other than catch sun color. And then you're actually smoking that fiberglass that was used as filter.
Oh, yeah.
And then
it's
they market it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, rat poison, bleach, everything's in there.
So after watching that, it makes me feel even better. Even better about smoking cigar. Because they have a doctor in there. And they'll say, oh yeah, people smoking cigarettes are dying of this. I mean, granted, most people who smoke a cigar and pipe tobaccos, they're talking about this, okay? Pipe tobacco, they're less likely to have any of those diseases because they don't inhale to their lungs. Which
Correct.
I feel like for them, they are trying to say it very carefully without being cut out. Because if they say anything positive about tobacco in that documentary, they're gonna get cut out. For sure. You can tell that he's choosing the word wisely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can tell because they use they filmed the factory of Opus 6. And they have the Arturo Fuente guy there. And he was just taking the tobacco and just the fresh leaves and just smells it.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's not gonna be one company that makes things that kill you will do that to themselves. Right? Who does that? Like, which owner of I make this thing that will kill people and I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, you don't see Marlboro going and taking a pile of their mash and shoving their face and smelling it to make sure that it's got the right,
right?
fermentation.
Because they knew what they put in there and they would never do that. And that's why majority tobacco is made out of machines. They don't want to touch that shit. Right? You can roll it yourself. Yeah. In China, they roll it themselves. But they don't really want to touch that shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What's up, Albert? You got Albert, you got Val.
That's Albert Jr.
Albert Jr.
Albert's son.
Oh.
AJ.
Oh, shoot. What's up, AJ? Val, Mike, Kat. Who else is on here? Michael Wells.
Mike Clark.
Hashimoto on here.
Hashimoto.
What? Hashimoto.
Greg Nicholson. Juan.
Does anybody call Hashimoto by his proper name anymore, or is that kind of all gone to the wayside and a thing of the past?
Matt Hashimoto? What people call it Hashimoto, Hashi, Matt. I'm used to call him Hashimoto because, for Asian, we call people by their last name.
Yeah, he's Hashimoto, but you have to say it right.
Hashimoto.
Right.
I have that recording somewhere, but it makes me want to cough, so I had to pronounce it the normal way.
Matt Hashimoto.
And with the echo. Hashimoto, moto.
Hoto. That's bad in Spanish. You know what that.
So yeah, oh my god, this cigar is bad. Every puff I take,
Stop, dude. You are far enough into that. You've given its due diligence.
Ooh,
Toss
it's
that
even
thing
worse
in the
now.
Trash. Yeah. Throw it away, please.
It tastes like
No
you go to like a grain farm and just set fire on those grain.
Dude, please just throw the thing away. It is not. Do you remember that time that we were on and somebody like looked at my ashtray and there was like 13 cigars that had been smoked a half an inch in my ashtray?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, dude, do you even smoke? Like, nobody believed I smoked an entire cigar anymore because all of my cigars are smoked down like a half an inch.
Well, I'm dropping it right now. I gotta.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this. Here we go. EP Carrero short run. I'll do that.
If Tony needs a toothpick, it's gonna be one of the cinnamon ones just to get that nasty taste of that last cigar out of his mouth.
Why do I need a toothpick? Do I have something on my tooth?
So you can nub that thing.
I am not doing that shit.
Every puff you take.
Here's the thing. Everybody
Every
knows that I
move you
rarely
make.
knob any cigars, right? I mean, I think Brendan knows I don't knob cigars. If I have 2 fingers left, that's it. Ooh, ow, that's hot.
Yeah.
So
I don't either.
I don't really, because like, why? For me, it's like, why waste that 5 minutes if I can lit up another one to enjoy it for another hour? So, light up a Casa Cueva, I could.
No, he said light up a Casa Cuevas.
Casa Cuevas. Even my wife know how to do that now. It's really annoying. You know what?
You're
Okay,
saying that
I'll take Casa Cueva.
You're saying that you don't like to smoke cigars down to the nub?
Hang on.
Down to the nub. Oh, now my camera's all off center, dang it.
Oh, did I?
There you go, the Reserva. Oh, it's not even open.
Because I finished the other box the other day. I don't even remember I did that.
You know, the one downside of cigar boxes is they don't open like a nice whiskey bottle does, with that little...
Right?
Wouldn't it be great if it opened up with just a beautiful sound that just kind of gave you little tingles, knowing that you're getting into this amazingness?
Somebody should make, how like, CAO made that light up box?
Yeah.
Somebody should make it with a sound when you open it, go, ah,
So it like opens up and it's like,
yeah, right? Like, give some like sort of like, I don't know. You can imagine opening a hallelujah, something like that. And then you're like, yes.
Maybe if I ever do my own cigar brand, I'll do that.
Right?
Put a little speaker in there, a little voice thing like the Hallmark cards.
Right? You open it up and then it sings. It can stop it. And I will imagine this, okay? Once you have those, you gotta go to every store and just go, hey, check this out. And you go,
Yeah. Right?
You'll be like, just, oh my God.
It opens it up and I get like Patrick LeGreed, to open it up to do the voiceover. And it's like, welcome to Cigar Mechanic Cigars, the finest tobacco on the planet. It does like this whole little infomercial thing.
Right? Call now.
Call now. Order more. Keep smoking.
If you order in the next 10 minutes, you get absolutely no discount.
It's an infomercial.
All right,
I'd take that box everywhere, right? You would, huh? Until like you would do that for like the first week, and then you'd be like, "Oh, this is stupid. I don't even want to smoke these things anymore. It's annoying."
Just set it so the battery only lasts a week of using. So now if somebody wants it, you have to buy another box to do it again.
Open it up with "Hello, Daddy." I don't know why I picture that like, "Hello, Daddy." Like,
no, you gotta get one of those Japanese, really like 3-year-old voice.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, hello. That's what I need. Hello, my pretty cigar smoker.
All right, here he goes. Casa Cueva.
I'm smoking the Warfighter right now. The Warfighter 556 Connecticut.
That's the one that I say reminds me of the Honduras flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Casa Cuevas
Someone
Reserva.
has to clip that part. Casa Cuevas.
Yeah, a lot better. Okay.
God, I hope
We shall
so.
continue. Oh my god. Yeah,
You're
I was
weird.
saying Casa Cueva, the core line to the Reserva. I always been, I tell people a lot of this. The amount of money that you're paying extra for Reserva really gets you a lot more. Not in terms of size, obviously, not in terms of smoking time, but the flavor. I think that's a lot more flavor.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Reserva line is a refined version of the core line. You're getting more creaminess, you're getting smoother tobaccos, smoother flavors out of that. And you being a Davidoff guy, you're gonna like that because that's what Davidoff is known for is that smoothness that they have. Me personally, like I'm not a big fan of that. I like to when I drink a beer, I like an IPA. I like that bitterness. I like that naturalness of it. So I like them. I like that core line a lot more than I like the Reserva line.
You might like this then. There's a lot of bitterness.
No, not a bad bitter, like a good like a hoppy bitterness, not a just a nasty bitterness. Not like the guy that hasn't showered in 10 days bitterness.
But isn't the Reserva line was a blend that was prior to the core line? I think I got the story somewhere like that. Like the Reserva blend was always there, but like they decided to release the core line and then come back to that Reserva line.
It's essentially, yeah, they're all grandfathered blends. So they're all blends that they've done before, they've had before. That's why that's in those style of boxes too, is because it's a grandfathered blend and it has to be in a similar packaging and yada yada yada.
So when you say it's refined, it's technically not refined, but would it be fair to say that Reserva came out first and then they blended so that you got the core line, which is more for everybody, and then released the Reserva line kind of thing, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Reserva was that style of blend, or that blend was done years before Cuevas launched. They had originally tried launching a family brand, years before they actually launched Casa Cuevas. They just never got a sales team or had the people behind it. They always had the factory, but there was nobody to help run the state side of all that. And then Lewis came on board and did the state side of it and brought it in the place to where it is now. But the core line was just designed to be an everybody's cigar that you could pick up at any time of the day, any one of the blends, and you could smoke it and be okay.
So I saw the news about Alec become like the director of something. Is he gonna be
head of something? What is he? Head of? So I don't remember what it was, but yeah.
Is he gonna be like the face now replacing Lewis? Is that like that? Lewis is gonna be in the back office now.
Well, see, senior not Luis Cuevas that we know, but Luis Cuevas Senior, his father, just turned 86, like 2 weeks ago. And so, I mean, and he's sharp as a tack. He's going back and forth between Dominican and Miami, living most of it down in Dominican to run the factory side. But I think that they're starting to work to position the company for Alec to take over Lewis's role and Lewis to step into his father's role. So I think Lewis is going to be spending more time down in the factory with his dad to learn that stuff because the dude's 86 years old. I mean, he's sharp as a tack. He's healthy as an ox. I mean, he's great right now. There's no health issues. There's no concerns of it. But it's kind of like writing a will, right? You got to start going, okay, well, I got to prepare for this because it's our guarantee in life. I'm not going to make it out alive.
So you think that basically Lewis Jr. Is going to be more blending and taking care of the factory side, and Alec is gonna take over like what Lewis is doing right now, basically be the face.
Yeah,
of...
I think they're going to share it. Honestly, I wouldn't doubt to see that Lewis starts running some of the factory stuff more, but Alec does a lot of the blending. I really wouldn't put that past him. I think Alec has really got that palate. Not to say Lewis doesn't. But I think Alec really is grasping what that is to blend a cigar, the process, the palate, the patience, all the P's required to blend a cigar. I think he's really grasping that a lot.
Because right now
So-
the Lewis seniors are doing the blending, right? Majority of the blending.
There you go, Val, director of brand development. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so he is going to be, and if you read that Halfwheel article, it talks about kind of what the role is going to be, which is more working on the blending side of things. So new blends coming forward. You know, he's got his being released at the PCA coming up. You know, so you're going to start seeing a lot more of that coming up, I think, from him, and stepping more into that blending role. When people come in, you know, Tony walks or flies down to the Dominican Republic and says, "Hey, I want to create a Soy Sauce Assassin cigar brand." You're going to be working with Alec more so than with Lewis on the development of the cigar, where you'll work with Lewis on more of the business side of it, I think.
It's exciting. I mean, when I saw this news, I was like, that moved really quickly. You know,
Yeah.
like they're about to release this cigar. He's really into this, and all of a sudden, boom, director of brand development. Not saying that it's not
There
in a
you
way,
go.
in a way consider like expected progression, right? But that was quick.
Well, you got to remember, they're a small company. I mean, when I send in an order and Lewis and Alec are both out traveling, sometimes that order doesn't get shipped right away because Lewis and Alec are out traveling. So like they have a buddy come in and help with the shipping and stuff, but they're still a very small company. I mean, Lewis and Alec run all parts of the stateside operation together. So you're going to be moving and changing and shifting. And like I said, I don't, you know, there's nothing wrong. And, you know, I got to be clear on this. There's nothing wrong health-wise that I know of with senior. But I can imagine at 86 years old, you're going to say, okay, I need to step back a little bit, you know, or start teaching my son these things or my grandson.
Why I got you here? Because this brand I don't usually talk about. I mean, personally, I don't have the excitement for it. But, you know, a lot of people either love it or don't care about it, right? So the people who love it loves it, okay? Patina. Any exciting news about Patina recently? Because we don't hear much about it, so.
No, you know, Mo likes to stay kind of just status quo, and he's not in a hurry to grow. That was like a total freaking rap line right there, right? But Mo wants to build a solid base of people and loyal customers to his brand. He knows that takes time. He's coming out with the Sumatra this year at PCA. So he'll have a new blend releasing this year. We were going to be coming out with a 5-year anniversary blend. That got delayed because he just is not happy with the way that the blend came together. So he's really just taking his time and making sure that things are proper and right, and that he can just keep up with everything. He doesn't want to flood the market and become a flash in the pan. He wants to be a long-lasting brand.
Okay, so what do you think is better for the industry? Is it a consistent same product level all the time, or seeing continuous new releases of different cigars?
I think consistency, but mixed with some releases, not continuous releases. I think right now, and especially in 2020, we saw way too much new stuff come out. And the problem that we create is listen, we have a finite group of people that we're fighting for, right? Cigar smokers, and we're earning new smokers, but there's only so many ways you can blend a cigar, and there's only so many ways you can do different things, packaging, and, you know, there's only so many names available. I mean, Gurkha owns half the names you could probably spout out right now, short of you using a bunch of different languages. You know, if you do anything in Spanish or in English, Gurkha probably owns that name already, and they're going to sue you in a heartbeat. If they don't, the General does, or, you know, somebody else does. So we're just getting flooded with all this new stuff. We're fighting over the same people, and it's like, why are you coming out with something new when you haven't even earned the customer base yet? You know, and why is it got to be, this LCA crap, dude? Like, I'm sorry if you're an LCA person, but dude, listen, that guy's bombing right now. I walk into more shops that are saying this guy's stuff is not good. People, you know, they'll send us 400 cigars. We're getting less and less people getting excited to buy them because people are realizing that just because it's got the word limited on it doesn't make it a good cigar. Just because there's only 400 of them released in only 100 shops across the country, which was a total lie. There's more of those released in more shops across the country, but it doesn't make it that it's a good cigar. They're buying these seconds and thirds and they're slapping a stupid name on it that's going to hurt our industry in the long run. And here's another limited release and walking around all cocky and arrogant like they did something new for our industry. Like, you've done nothing new. So I think that model is terrible for our industry. But then you look at brands like Gran Habano, been around since like 94. He's got the number 1, the number 3, the number 5, the number 5 Maduro. Those have been consistent since the day they came out. There's not been a change. And yes, there's nothing wow or exciting like about those. But you know what? They're so consistent and they're good every time you pick them up. They're good quality. They're, if it's your yard gar or if it's your daily smoke, it's good. But then he came out with the blue green, the blue and green, the Black Dahlia, the La Conquista, the Zulus, which came out a while ago. But you come out with these new lines that are more boutique and they're more focused towards today's cigars, and then you got your guys that are focused towards the older style. And I think that's actually a really good combination, because now I can catch the younger smokers with the newer boutique stuff, and I can catch the older smokers that have loved the old consistent same thing over and over again.
And just in case YouTube flag us, when we say younger, it means 21.
18 and older.
We're gonna say 21 because YouTube likes it.
Yeah, well, screw YouTube. But they're listen, the legal purchase age is 21 of tobacco. The legal smoking age is 18. That's federal. So we can still, you can't sell to 18-year-olds, but 18-year-olds can smoke cigars all they want.
Well, but then that's kind of like the fine line. I mean, technically, you can be 6-year-old and drink red wine, you know?
Yeah, in your parents' house, but if you're walking down the street and a cop wants to be a dick and come up and he sees you smoking a cigar and looks at your ID and it's 18, you're legal. Like, you're fully legal to smoke. You just can't purchase until you're 21. But I can go buy one as a 42-year-old for my 19-year-old daughter, and she can smoke it.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I'm not breaking any laws that way. Now, if I give it to my 13-year-old daughter, like, I'm breaking laws, but I'm on my own home. She might want to try one. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's sitting there, we're hanging out. She goes, "That smells good. Can I try it?" Maybe I'll let her take a puff of it. You know, who knows? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying smoke a box today, but you know, your kid tries a little bit of wine. Like, yeah, that's always we've all done it, right?
does. So I personally think that new releases generates that buzz and excitement that we needed every year for people to go, "Hey, you got your cigar this year," kind of thing, you know?
They do within reason. Within reason. We got companies that are releasing new crap every month. Like, stop it, bro. Like, stop it. Let you get some saturation with that new one. Let some people smoke it. Let the hype get around. Let it start kind of dying out. Then you can come up to your next once a quarter, maybe at the most. But once a month, dude, and, oh, we got another new release. Like, stop.
So you I think you would be for, you know, new releases within reason, but they should have new releases.
100%. Oh yeah, man, keep bringing out stuff. Like, you get these young guys like Alec getting in there, and he's doing some weird stuff that, like, people never thought. Listen, Jaime Garcia came along, dude. He changed the way that you just lay the tobacco in a cigar, and that's what really put him on the map. Everybody, you know, rolled the cigar together, broke it, and set it, and laid it a certain way. Well, he flipped that, and so it changed where that spice is and where the strength is and how this. And there, people are going, whoa. You know, one day some guy came along and said, "Well, I'm gonna grab some Dominican, some Honduran, and some Nicaraguan and see how that blends." We need those new, fresh ideas coming in. There's people that I've talked to right now I'm talking to. They have farms and they're growing African tobaccos down in Nicaraguan soil. They're growing all these different stuff everywhere, and you're just going. And that's where a lot of our change is coming, is actually in the growing side and less of it in the blending side. Right now, we're getting a lot of new hybrid tobaccos coming up that are super exciting to see what they're going to turn out to in the future.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things some people are. But when I was having some conversation, people was like, you know, I'm really don't like all this company coming out with new cigars all the time. And let me turn my fans off because it's like in my face. She said, but I feel like we need that new stuff, even if it's not gonna be always. Like drink company, they release some drinks and then they know that didn't work out and then they just take it away and then it reminds you like they're trying something new. They're still doing something that might excite some new cigar smoker. You never know, because you might find someone that absolutely hate a cigar, and all of a sudden he smoked one. It's like, I really like this combination.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, Cuevas is doing it right, in my opinion. They've been around for 5 years. They started with the 3-core line, then they released the La Mandaria, they released the Reserva, they released the Patrimonio last year. They had the limited edition Flacos before they did the Mandaria. There's been something kind of new every year to expose or to show, but it's not a weekly new thing coming out. It's consistent. Let's give Patrimonio some time on the shelves, because what happens in my side is we throw Patrimonio on the shelf. Everybody goes and buys it, right? Everybody's going to try it, especially if you're a Cuevas guy. So that first round of on the shelf was like, whoop, it's gone. You get the reorder, it comes on there. Now the real test of that cigar is happening. We've done an event. People have tried it for the first time. Are they coming back and buying it? Well, if you're slapping another cigar right next to it, that's going to affect that data, because now people are going to come to the Casa Cuevas section. They're going to buy the Sangre Nueva, and they're not going to be buying the Patrimonio, even though that's the one they like. But now they're going for the new again. So you just totally skewed the numbers, and to see the data on that brand or on that line extension to see if it's effectively working or not.
Okay.
So it's within reason.
Mike says, I asked that question on live, Saka, about does he have a new leaf he's looking at blending. He said, no, don't need to do that. You okay?
Whatever the fuck he wants, you know that.
I love Saka, dude. I feel like that guy wakes up every morning, puts his thumb in his mouth, and blows as hard as he can, so his head just goes. And he walks around like that, like Stewie from Family Guy, right? It's like, dude, you got this just. I don't need to do that. No, I can work. Stop it, bro. Everybody's blending new stuff all the time, man. It's constantly happening. No, he's not doing it because he doesn't own any freaking farms.
Is that the reason?
Yeah, you have to own a farm and have like scientists that are like freaking master's degrees in splicing genomes of a freaking cigar, like tobacco, and planting it in the proper thing and growing it the proper way and knowing what kind of shade, and like, dude, it takes years to develop this stuff, because you gotta like, dude, you take a Connecticut leaf and you grow it in like raw sunlight, that sucker's gonna it's gonna die. It's gonna suck and needs shade. But you wouldn't know that until you started trying to grow it, right?
So you think so does Steve Saka basically just go to a farm and says, give me a blend, I'll try it, and then until he finds the blend he wants and then make it his kind of thing?
No, I mean, he's actually blending stuff. He goes to Tabacalera Pachardo and fucks with the tobaccos, and smokes it, and puts shit together. But he's not out trying the new experimental shit.
I mean, with Steve Saka's lineup, he have quite a bit of cigar lineup already. So, unless it's something that's particularly special, I don't think he's got to go having to go that, because like when he was doing the Connecticut, he ended up doing the all kind of Connecticut just to prove a point, but now he have a lot of Connecticut. So like he's got probably a wide range of product for people that's medium plus full body smokers, right? So.
Yeah. And that's what I love about him, man. He was just so arrogant when he talked about doing that Connecticut. He's like, fine, I'll do one just to prove a point. And it proved him wrong. Like, I freaking love it because he talked so much shit about Connecticut's and Connecticut smokers, and he was just such a loudmouth about it. And then he puts that, what was it called? The Brulee or whatever that crap. Yeah, that, whatever that junk cigar was called that he put out. And he put that out, and people went gaga over it, and they're still smoking it. It's still alive. And it's like, I guess you were wrong, Saka. Like, you don't know everything. Look at that.
But people are still complaining about that sweet tip. So
it is sweet tip.
Sweet. It is.
Yeah. He's gonna lie about it all day long, but it is sweet tip, man. Don't tell me it's not.
There we go. So you heard it first. Yeah. I agree it's a sweet tip, because no part of that cigar other than the tip was sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, I smoked one recently and it was still sweet. So, but it wasn't as sweet as our first one. So That being said, it's something that they use on the cap when they're fucking put the cap on, because it kind of diminished, but it was still there. It's almost like it soaked it up to where you couldn't taste it as much, but it was still there.
Yeah, because you can flip that cigar backwards. You're not gonna taste any sweet.
You know,
No, it's in the pectin they use to put on the cap.
Yeah.
So it's not sweet dip.
The glue.
It's sweet glue.
Yeah. And that's why you'll get that little bit of sweetness right off the bat when you put it in your mouth, because it's all the overlapping glue. That as I hate talking about this stuff because there's always one guy that's like gets all perverted with it. But as your lips are moistening that, it's taking away that sweetness, right? And then as you're smoking it, parts of that tobacco is shifting, moving, changing. So you'll get that sweetness every once in a while that's underneath the leaf still, or it's the glue kind of soaks through the leaf. And listen, when I say glue, it's a pectin glue. You can go to your grocery store and buy it. It's the same glue they use for putting together, cakes or glue and other crap together. It's a fruit-based, 100% natural pectin is what is used. It's not like Elmer's glue or some crap like that.
Elmer's glue.
You always have to clarify because people are like, oh my God, they use glue. Like, yeah, they use liquid cement, dude. And then you put it into your lips. It's like, no, it's freaking pectin. It's a fruit-based.
If they use Elmer's glue, nobody will ever have problem with cracked cap because it will be on there. It's not coming off.
And I bet you if you used an Elmer glue with like the tip of it using Elmer glue, like kids, guys my age would probably be like, oh, this is really good because like half these guys like ate Elmer's glue as a kid,
Gorilla glue. If you put Gorilla glue, that thing is not gonna move. You can't even cut through it. It will be like hard as rock. So now that I have you guys here, let's talk about what happened recently, right? Obviously, YouTube has been cutting out cigar contents, and a lot of cigar contents are leaving YouTube. What do you guys think? Like, is that a blessing or is that a bad thing? Does it hurt the industry, you think? Or does it encourage the industry? Because I personally think that there's a lot of them, and the people that are leaving, it's all for the same reason. Not for the reason of...
Yes, Mike.
Eating glue, what's wrong?
Is that what's wrong with me?
Right? Obviously, it's because 10%. They want to take away the sponsor, the link, and all that stuff. What do you think? I know, obviously, Martin will think that that's bullshit, but Brendan, you don't do that kind of stuff. So what do you think? What's your opinion on it?
Well, before I answer that, I want to ask Martin something, because and Martin, if you don't want to answer this, it's fine, but just a curiosity question that might help to kind of guide this a little bit. As a tobacco YouTube channel, tobacco-based YouTube channel, right? Cigar-based. You couldn't even monetize that channel anyways, correct?
They've taken a lot of that away from us, yes. So
yes.
The only way that I can monetize, okay, so let's say this. Every cigar YouTube video that I make pennies off of.
Right.
Pennies. I'm talking like 7 cents a month per video.
Right.
The ones that are not monetized, or the ones that are monetized that are not cigar related, those are the ones that I'm actually making money off of. So if you're thinking about making a cigar YouTube channel, first off, right now is really not a good time. But you're not doing it to make money, because I'm not getting any richer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only way that you can really monetize tobacco at this point is with sponsorships.
Right.
But YouTube itself is not going to send you a check for any tobacco-based,
No.
Unless you have your grandfather did videos, and they might pay you pennies.
Not even
those.
that.
They cut all that.
Because CO did that shit too.
Yeah. So, all right, Tony's question.
Okay.
Martin, as a YouTube star.
Yeah, I'm a YouTube star. Repeat the question.
Now that YouTube is kind of filtering out cigar videos, cigar reviewers and stuff like that. So there's less of those contents around and less of repeat content too. Do you think that's a blessing for the community, or do you think it's not doing the community any good?
I don't think it's doing the community any good at all, because that's where, I mean, I've heard many people tell me, I'd like to smoke a cigar and know that someone else is smoking the same thing, and I kind of get an idea of what I'm tasting. And then now that YouTube's doing that shit, you have no reference point. You don't have people coming out and saying, hey, try this cigar. Hey, try this one. I didn't like this one. I like this one. Oh, okay. He's got a similar palate to mine. I'll try it out.
No, that's not what I meant. Okay. Right now, basically what YouTube having right now is all those people who is monetizing, advertising, their cigar contents are being removed. What's left is those people who doesn't. So you get a different perspective, because all left here is people who doesn't make any money and wouldn't care if they make a penny out of it. And they are doing those reviews. So do you think that's a good thing? Or do you think that, it's okay that, we flood with all these people that's really there for the content and making money out of it?
I mean, they're going to go away eventually too. I mean, I don't really know how to answer that.
Well, they're swinging for all the big guys first, right? So they're going to look at the most views and the ones that have the most attention, the most influence, and they're going to start knocking them down. And eventually they'll get down to the little guys. But, you take these guys that get, like, I don't know, if I put up a video right now, it'd probably get 2 views. Like, nobody gives a crap, right?
Right now, I mean, we have Martin got dinged, Bob the Cigar Guy got dinged, and all the big one got dinged.
But they're all superstars.
Right.
Like, they're all like, and like, listen, Martin's right here, Bob the Cigar Guy probably gets 2 to 3 times the views that you're getting on your stuff, right?
Mhm.
Like, but that doesn't make you any less. It just means that, he's got more viewers right now. You look at Cigars Daily and he's got, 800 or 1 million followers, whatever, who cares, right? So they're going to start knocking those guys down first. And then they're going to get down to like what's that one guy, 505 Cigar Review. I don't know. They can get some of these guys that are on there that just, they get 50 views and they've got 4 million videos up, but none of them have more than like 60 views on it. They'll start knocking those guys out later because they're not being monetized, and B, they don't have a lot of influence.
Like this channel.
Maybe. I mean, you have influence in your little circle of 150 or less people, because you can never break over that. So, like, you have your influence in your cursed 150. They're not as worried about you right now, but eventually they'll
Which is great.
They just got to knock out this guy first, and they got to knock out Bob, and they got to knock out Cigars Daily and Zeal and all these other guys. They got to knock them out first, because their influential potential is over 1 million people.
So knowing that, now that you put the fact out there, do you think that's a good thing, or that's a bad thing that's hurting the industry? Because a lot of people are influenced by various words that's on YouTube. A lot of people, everybody have a different opinions, right? And I know your perspective is that one bad opinion can hurt somebody a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
And so now that is kind of filtered out a little bit. Do you think that's a good thing, or that's a bad thing?
From my perspective, there's a deeper thing you have to look at. Like, one is, do I really believe that that Martin's review on the, I don't know, La Aurora de Cuba, do I really think that review is influencing people that are underaged or should not be smoking? Is it influencing them to make a poor decision in life? No, I don't. I mean, really, because Martin can do a video building a Lego set and sponsored by Monster, and that's going to have a lot more influence on that child. And that kid's going to drink a Monster, which is far more dangerous to their system than that cigar that Martin's smoking. And health and doctors and all that stuff has already proven that. Like, that's proven. And yet we're letting Monster go out there and slap their name on every single sports event and tractor and truck and everything that jumps across the ditch. Red Bull, like, these things that are literally killing people and destroying the insides of people. Like, and listen, I drink Monsters too sometimes, so I'm not, or Zions or any of those. Like, but those things are killing people. Like, there is no proof on cigars, but they have an attack on it because they're lumping it with the vapes and all the other tobacco. Do I think that it being thinned out and funneled and some of the more serious and real cigar reviewers being pushed out, I think that's terrible. Because you're getting left with the people that weren't followed in the first place. because they would sit there and read a notepad saying, "Oh well, this cigar has Nicaraguan, Dominican, and Colombian tobacco in it, and a Nicaraguan cigar should have flavor notes of hickory and cedar and they don't know what the hell they're talking about, dude. They're dead in the mouth. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're just making crap up and reading off of a sheet, hoping to get free cigars. You know what I mean? Like, then you get like, I mean, listen, I'm not doing a Rabbit Air review with the Rabbit Air sitting in the back seat of my car. I'm kidding, Martin. I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
See, this is probably why I get so many freaking people reaching out to me, because I talk shit about fucking cigars and I talk shit about whatever. Right. That's just what makes my channel what it is.
Because Amber Heard doesn't like cigars, so Elon is banning his piercing.
But Elon doesn't own YouTube yet.
No, he owns Twitter.
Not yet.
Yet. And they're not going to, but he's not going to. But at the end of the day, I think it's, for our inherent rights as human beings, I think it's terrible. I think it's overstepping in a big way. I think if we really look at cigar content in general, it doesn't affect any children whatsoever. You don't drive by a high school and see a guy smoking a Fuente Opus X out in front of the school. You know, that 16-year-old. You just don't see that. Like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
So I think that the ignorant idiots out there have lumped all stuff together, and they're attacking a certain vice that really the government should have no involvement in whatsoever, other than maybe regulating what's going into them.
My point of view on this is basically, I don't think what happens right now with all the cigar reviewer leaving YouTube is hurting seasoned smokers. The seasoned smoker knows where to find their information, their rehab wheel, whatever. They actually go out there and smoke new stuff if they're interested. Sometimes they watch this for entertainment. They don't really watch for the opinion so much, right? What hurts is it hurts new smokers who are going online to find like how to season your humidor, that kind of stuff. You know, all those people that left, at one point they put out beginners videos, and those videos are gone, right? And that's what hurting. It hurts the new smokers that they can no longer find those information easily on YouTube University anymore. But
by the way, I miss that content. I miss the crap out of that kind of content, to be honest with you. I'm really, we've gotten so flooded with cigar reviewers and influencers, and that's become such a statement that I'm tired of it. Like, I miss the days of old TNT cigars. Like, way back in the days when TNT first started, it was Tim and Bradley, and they were doing the reviews, and they would talk about, hey, here's how to cut a cigar. Here's the different kinds of cutters. Here's like the informational stuff, because at the end of the day, Martin is smoking a Gran Habano number 5 Maduro right now. That's in a Toro size with a shag foot, you know, and that's what he's smoking right now, right? So he can look at that and he can smoke that, and he could say he tastes, you know, I don't know, whatever, burnt bark and honey. But I could smoke that and say, well, I get black pepper and, you know, chewing gum. Like, who knows? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's palate is so random and different. And Martin's drinking something with that right now. I'm drinking tea. You're drinking hot water, Tony. Like, so, and that all has an influence. I don't care what anybody says. That all has an influence on what that cigar tastes like. You know, I just had In-N-Out for dinner. So, you know, the pickles and the grilled onions and the mustard, that's going to influence how this cigar tastes right now. Plain and simple. Right? So I think the reviewers, they have a place and they're great, and they can tell you an idea of what a cigar might be and maybe get you excited about something. But at the same time, and I've said this before, we live in a society that thrives on negativity. When I own my and this is a point, when I own my mechanic shop, right? I got more customers from my one-star negative review than I did from my 500 5-stars. And I remember, because I'd ask people, how did you why are you here? What, you know, what brought you to my shop? Why did you call? I saw your 1-star review on Yelp. Oh crap. You know, and they're like, no, listen. We read the review. We heard the guy's story because he went on this long rant, because that's what everybody does on a bad review, right? They want to say how terrible you are. Nobody ever wants to say how good you are. And then I responded with, hey, I'm sorry you felt that way. You know, here's what we try to do to rectify the situation, and blah, 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 blah. It wasn't argumentative. It was just my point on it. And people read that and they said, hey, you know what? When I go to Big B's Family Automotive and he does an oil change and he forgets to put the drain plug in and my engine blows up, it looks to me like he's going to keep a level head and try to actually rectify the situation instead of just blame somebody else and call me names. That's the shop I want to go to. The problem with the reviewers is that when they say something negative, there's no chance for a rebuttal from anybody else. And again, like, this is awkward because Martine's here, but I'm not saying this as an attack on you at all, Martine. Like, it's just reviewers in general. When your palate, you had a bad day, you just got an argument with your wife, you just ate some spicy tamales with, like, you know, hell hot freaking hot peppers on top of it, and then you go and review a cigar and it tastes like shit to you. No kidding. Like, you're chewing on a freaking cinnamon toothpick while you're smoking the cigar. It's not going to taste good. But there's people that you influence that see that, and now they don't want to go and even try that cigar because Martine's hot pepper cinnamon stick whatever, you know, review turned out to be bad. And again, it's not an attack on Martine. You're just here, so it's easy to point. Yeah, I'm not seriously. I'm not trying to attack you on it. You're just here, so it makes it easier. But it's that does have an influence on people more than the positive reviews have an influence. Because people, even with the positive, Matt Hashimoto is a clear point. All those positive reviews on some of these cigars, and he says, I'm going to wait for the hype to die out before I try it. But one negative review, and he goes,
I'm going to try it now.
I'm not going to buy it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think there's a place for them, but people put too much weight, and there's too many people that just don't know what they're doing, and aren't educating their palate and aren't educating themselves, and they're just spewing crap because they're trying to get free cigars and they want to be important, or they want to go to a trade show and have a media badge so they can go say hi to people and look cool. And okay.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, I think those videos in the past for beginners are very educational, and those are gone. Right? I mean, I don't like the Tiki Torch guy as much, but then he does have a lot of video
Right, Glenn.
that has been there that help a lot of people.
Did you watch the one when he yelled at the neighbor because, like, the ambulance showed up? Like, the neighbor is like dying, but the ambulance is showing up and it's ruining his recording, his review. So he's getting all mad. I'm like, your neighbor's dying and you're getting mad because it's messing up your cigar review.
I don't watch a lot of his video. I watch a lot of his old videos, which were very educational for those people who start.
Yeah.
Right. And after that, it's all like what I feel about the cigar, which we do. Like, you know, we have opinions and stuff like that. Take a grain of salt, you know, just basically only way to know it is to go try it. Right. And but those videos will be gone, right? Because they're leaving, they're taking all their video with them. Those videos are gone. And I think that's what hurts. It hurts the new people. It doesn't hurt seasoned smokers. We already have that knowledge. And the only information we know is what's new, what came out. And really, if you want the same information, go read Half Wheel. It's there. Like from size, taste, flavor notes, when it's going to release, where to get them, it's out there.
Which, by the way, is if you can read Half Wheel and then go watch half the reviewers out there, and it's almost word for word what Half Wheel says. It's just like, did you just read Half Wheel to me while smoking a cigar? Like, is that even the real cigar that's actually being reviewed? Like, okay. But Half Wheel's doing a great job. They have their YouTube channel. Patrick Legree just did a great review on the Braun lighter from Vertigo, or from Lotus. Did a great review on it. Showed the lighters, showed the torch, how it worked, and like, that's something that should be monetized and stay up. There's no cigars, there's no smoking, there's no nothing. It's reviewing the lighter. It's educational. I learned something. I should go pick up that lighter. Holy crap, it's nice.
So I think that's the only difference. That's why I was like, okay, a lot of people are getting shoved out of it, but because a lot of them were advertising a cigar that they were told to say is a good cigar. Yeah. Like, I don't worry about Martin so much because he hates every cigar he smokes. So you know, to me that's entertaining. It's funny. But a lot of reviewers, not trying to pinpoint at any reviewers, but a lot of reviewers just like, this cigar is great. That's like all their cigar that they smoke. This cigar is great. This cigar is good. Well, no shit. You know, if they're paying you for it, you better say it's great.
Dude, I watched a reviewer tell me how good the cigar was going to be because he likes this tobacco that's in it and he likes the blender. So he just knows this is going to be a great cigar. Like, oh, this is an unbiased honest review. I'm so excited to watch this. Really? You just told me this? Oh, I just know this is going to be a great cigar because so-and-so makes great cigars. And I love this kind of tobacco. And this is just going to be I'm so excited to light the cigar. Like, dude, shut off the camera. Go play with yourself in the corner somewhere else off the camera. And then come back and review with an honest palate. Like, I've watched Patrick smoke cigars that he's like, oh, I don't like this cigar. It's not his palate, but he can still give it a good review because he's able to separate his palate, smoke the cigar for what is it, and talk about the cigar. Did it meet these points? But most of our reviewers today are saying, I liked it or I didn't like it. And it's not about what the actual cigar consists of and what points it meets. Is it draw good? Is it construction nice? Is flavor good? I don't care if it's your palate. I don't. Like, I don't care if Martine likes the cigar. I care what I'm going to get what I can expect to get from that cigar. That's what I care about. And that's we've gone away from the educational. We've gone away from the unbiased for a lot of the reviewers, and it's turned into these sideshows and these reading half wheel and telling me what you like about us. I don't care what you like about it. I care what I'm going to get from it.
Cool. So yeah, I just wanted to see what people's opinion on that because I feel like a lot of those things happening, but at the same time, like, it doesn't really bother me because I know where I would gotta get my information from, and I'm very judgmental, and I either like a cigar or I absolutely hate it, and I just toss it in the trash. Yeah. And for me, it's more like fun to chat about it than actually. In the end, I tell you, go buy that cigar and go smoke it. And then you'll know whether or not you like it because there's gotta be a million people that likes Gurkha and I absolutely hate it. So but then there's a million people that like Gurkha, So this is more like a relaxation, more like entertaining, not so much of an education. But then too bad those education videos are gone. That's the only thing I care for, really.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't like Davidoff. Does that mean that Tony should stop buying Davidoff?
I would say Brendan would say yes.
Well, I mean, I'm in the business. Yes, buy less Davidoff and more Cuevas, Patina, Warfighter, Espinosa. The brand. But you like Davidoff, so go buy more Davidoff. Like $100 for a cigar. I haven't found one yet that I go, this is worth it. I haven't found one yet, and I've smoked a lot of expensive cigars.
I have not told anybody $100 cigar is worth it.
What's the one Davidoff that you like? The Blanco Oro or whatever it's called.
I smoke it. Doesn't mean I told people it's worth it. I told people unless you have a good reason, it's not worth it.
I'm not saying that you did, but like, what I mean? But you like that cigar.
Sure.
I don't find it worth the price of entry.
It's not worth the price. I use it to celebrate hard work. And because of that, it's worth it to me because I put $500 to celebrate hard working. Right?
Sure.
You always remember that you lost $500 somewhere.
And see, that's how I feel with Esencias, even though it is a really good cigar. But I splurge and celebrate when the fucking I can fucking sell them all. It's like that's my highest that I would spend on a single cigar, and to me, every penny is worth it because it's just good, and I enjoy them on those moments where I need something that I need to feel good about myself.
I mean, I think majority of the time, people shouldn't pay so much attention to a celebratory cigar. A celebratory cigar, obviously, you don't smoke it all the time. You don't like it enough where you are willing to splurge all the time. You like all the other cigars that you smoke every day because you say that's something that I'm willing and it's good enough for me for every day. Celebratory cigar doesn't necessarily mean it's good. All right, there's a lot of people that smoke Padrones, and I absolutely hate Padron. So some people like it. I just by looking at the Padron, it pisses me off because how inconsistent it looks to me. But that's
you're a packaging guy too. You like an elegant packaging. You like a smooth cigar. I mean, listen. Let's be honest. That's part of your culture. Even like it's about packaging and nice things. Like not being racist. Like, dude, I've done a lot of events. And you see I see the little Asian girl come in and she barely speaks any English, and I'm trying to tell her about cigars, and she picks out the pretty box. Like, that's just in the culture, right? We want
Right.
something that's packaged nice.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, you know,
Yeah.
there's not gonna be one cigar that's $100 that is worth the price unless you put some meaning to it. If you don't give it meaning, it doesn't make sense. All right. The reason they put $100 cigar, it's not because it costs $100. It's because they wanted you to buy it to give a meaning, because you'll always remember you spent that much money on the damn cigar. You'll always remember that the moment that you smoke $100 cigar, because I don't care who you are. If $100 just left your wallet, it will hurt.
Yeah.
And you'll remember it.
Oh yeah.
Because you just basically smoke an entire box of cigar in 1 hour, 2 hours. Right?
Yeah.
But the truth is that people like their daily cigar more, because you smoke that every day and you think that price is justified and worth it to you. Celebratory cigar, it's not. It's just...
See, for me, it's different. When I celebrate with a cigar, I go in my humidor and I look and I say, what is the cigar that just I'm going to be real, that I know I'm going to love and I'm going to be able to relax with? Like, I don't care. Most of the time, it's like the Cuevas Connecticut. That's the one that I probably smoke the most, because I do. I have a relationship with the family. I feel like I'm a part of that family.
There's meaning behind it.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion and meaning and feelings. You know, I remember, you know, when Gabriel Alvarez, like I have memories of Gabriel Alvarez and sitting with him, and, you know, rest in peace, man. And so it's like, when I smoke that cigar to celebrate, I feel like I'm celebrating with Gabby. There's that emotion behind it, and it's a $7-8 cigar, but I'll celebrate with that every single time, because I don't want to have a bad. I try to celebrate with a Garcia y Garcia when they first came out with my father. One of my the guys I worked on their car got me that as just a tip, as a gift, right? That was one of the worst experiences I had. It destroyed my palate for the rest of the day trying to smoke that stupid cigar, and it was like $40 for that thing. I got a quarter of the way into it and I had to throw it into the lake. I took the bands off first, but I had to throw it into the lake. I was sitting on the side of the lake fishing. I was relaxed. I was finally getting some downtime, and like, I was so excited because it's an expensive cigar that I wouldn't have spent that money on. And it was such a letdown, and I couldn't even smoke another cigar afterwards. So like,
Now that you mention it,
those.
do you think tobacco will kill fishes if you throw it in the water?
No.
The nicotine will not kill the fishes?
No, as a matter of fact, you can feed when you're done smoking your cigar, you can feed that or let it get cold first. Give it to the horses, and it'll actually help kill the worms in their stomach.
Really? Yeah, that's something you never know. The more you know. Yeah, I mean, ever since that we had the meeting in Arizona, I've been celebrating my small success with the Patrimonial.
Yeah.
Because it has a different meaning to me now.
Right.
It's not just a cigar, and I don't smoke a lot of strong cigar, and that cigar is pretty strong. So I can only smoke it when I'm celebrating something. But you know, do I often go out and buy $100 cigar just to celebrate? No. Do I often smoke an Oro Blanco? Okay, maybe twice or 3 times a year, but it's not something that I would say go do it.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's similar to say, hey, I'm gonna go buy a Ferragamo shoes. You're not gonna wear it a lot. You know, so I wouldn't recommend people to do that. But you know, if you want to try one time as a bucket list, go for it. But still, you gotta celebrate. A lot of people's like, oh, you know, I have something to celebrate. You know, we have in the chat room all the time, right? Something's celebrating, something's happening, and they say, what should I smoke? We always say, what do you like first? Like, what do you like? What do you love? What's your favorite cigar? Use that as celebratory.
So let me ask everybody watching right now, what is your go-to celebration cigar? Like, I'm just curious what other people have. Like, I see that Mike's smoking to my father right now. And listen, I like a lot of my father's stuff. I really do. I always have. Again, that's another one that has a special place in my heart, because Eric and Jamie, that were the reps, were good friends of mine. That's when I really started getting serious. I'm friends with Jose from there. You know, he texted me the other day. He's like, dude, I'm looking for this kind of car. Like, it's just like, those guys have a special place in my heart. They're a big company that still has a small company mindset. I really like them a lot. Like Garcia was just a total flop in my opinion. I tried smoking it twice and it was terrible both times for my palate. But I'm curious, what's everybody else's celebratory cigar?
Yeah, so that'll be cool. So, you know, we got the last few minutes. So everybody put your celebratory cigar. Put number 1, number 2, celebratory cigars that you smoke in the chat right now, so we can look at it, see how many people actually smoke the same thing. Because some people will choose the same thing, right? I mean,
And if it's not one of my brands, I'm just gonna tell you right now, you're dead in the mouth according to me. But that's okay. No,
Well, not a single one of my celebratory cigars are from the cigar
Right.
mechanic branch.
Diamond Crown for Val.
Okay.
Oh, Diamond Crown is another expensive cigar too. I mean, I don't smoke that often, but people do use it as celebratory cigar. Yeah, Patron 1964.
Yeah. That's
So-
a little for me.
Oh, I know, Joe. Val, how long has Val been smoking? Do you know?
A while.
Quite a while.
Wow.
Yeah, a few years.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm just curious. That's one of those brands I usually see from somebody that kind of stays within a certain wheelhouse. That's why I was wondering, because you see like the Diamond Crown's a good cigar, but it's from some usually I see that from somebody that hasn't expanded out much.
I think Val is still
Mike is
trying to
right now.
expand his choices, his
Yeah.
palette and choices. So
Because I would have said that in my first probably 5-10 years of smoking cigars, I would have said the Diamond Crown. But then I got into boutiques and it was like, oh wow, this is out there. Woohoo!
the Diamond Crown, Padron 1926,
Mhm.
and whatever Brendan picks, which
Kiss ass.
So-
I'm not getting you a badge. Fine, I'll get you a badge. If you want to go to the show and you end up in Vegas, let me know, dude. I'll get you into the show.
You know, honestly, I thought about going to those shows many times, and every time at the end, I got like, no, it's a bad idea because I know that I'm not a good fit or personality to be in any of those shows. I'll be picking fights left and right, and then Brendan will probably drag me out of that place.
Yeah, if you can't keep up with me here, try keeping up with me in Vegas.
No, because like I have so many enemies, it's crazy. I don't even know how I make so many enemies. I have so many enemies, crazy.
It's all right.
So
Yeah,
we got a few
I'll go
more
like-
people. Come on, let's go. What do you smoke as celebratory cigar? You know, people who watch this afterward, you can put in the chat room, put in the comments too, and you know we can follow up. I can let Brendan know, and then he'll be like, "Shit, all these people have no flavor." Anyways,
1 year, 6 months. There you go. See?
okay, introduce.
so I was spot on. Like, so he hasn't gotten to expand out much.
He's still
and there's-
trying to. You know, I
Which
had
is great. There's nothing
I was
wrong
under
with
the
that.
impression that Val was longer than that.
And listen, Val, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
me
that to
too.
rag on you. There's nothing wrong with that, dude. Like, welcome to the industry. Welcome to the brotherhood, to the family. And listen, Diamond Crown was introduced to you by Albert. You know, you've got an emotional connection to it. Dude, if I can go, I'll tell you my ultimate number one celebratory cigar, and I only have 4 of them left, and I'm afraid to smoke it. But like one of these days, like I'm gonna smoke them, and it has to be a very special occasion. Is the original Camacho Triple Maduro before they sold out to Davidoff, when Christian Aurora was still in control of the brand and owned it. That original Camacho Triple Maduro, I haven't talked to anybody yet that has smoked that cigar that wouldn't agree with me that that's one of the best cigars ever made, period, hands down.
I have not smoked one, the original one, so I wouldn't be able to comment on that. I didn't even smoke the new one, so they still have triple Maduro, but I've never smoked the triple Maduro. I know I'm gonna get sick smoking it, so.
Yeah, you got to eat a steak dinner before you got to be like sitting there on the couch going, oh, before you smoke that
Yeah.
thing, because it's strong.
Whenever I see triple Maduro, I stay away because I know that I'm gonna get sick.
It's not as strong now. I mean, it's been 10 years since Christian owned that company or more. So it's, they've been sitting in my humidor for I don't know, probably 12 years plus now, 15 years. And Mike, you do have an answer, bro. Like, it doesn't matter how long, if you're still a novice, you still have one that you would go to. I mean, somebody in your family has a kid. What's the one you're going to celebrate with?
Right.
Get a new job.
I grabbed a patrimonio for my birthday just because of the meaning, just being able to meet the Cuevas and having a good time. And that reminded me, okay, I want to remember that time, and I smoked one on my birthday, and it was fucking excellent.
Brendan, while we're on that subject, what do you think about those baby shower cigars? Don't tell me you don't know what those things they are.
Dude, I love that because people ask me that because I really, in most places, I really can't tell you what my favorite cigar is. I represent 2,200 SKUs. I can't for me to pick one out is not fair to the rest of the. You guys know what my favorite one is, but when I'm doing an event, somebody's like, "Dude, what's your favorite cigar?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, I love the Eats a Girls." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, I love the Eats a Girls, man. They got the pink band on them. It's called Eats a Girl." And dude, those things are so good, and it's a girl, but you just call them an Eats a Girl, and people finally register with it, and they realize I'm just full of shit. But they have their place, man. It's for all the people that don't normally smoke, and they come over and grab a cigar together. There's most of it left in the ashtray. They're cheap.
I think that I've never smoked one before, but I could not think that there are any good cigars. So, for as an example, if you want to do boy, just take a blue band cigar. If you do a girl, just take a red band. There's plenty of red band cigar and there's plenty of blue band cigar. And they'll probably be better.
Yeah, they're just gonna be a mild strength, mild flavor, just something that everybody can smoke that doesn't normally. You're having a glass of bourbon, celebrating a baby, and the guy's gonna have the one cigar in his lifetime, and that's what it is. And they're not trying to earn smokers with that cigar.
Anybody know who makes those? I've seen those. I just don't know who makes them.
Fuente makes some.
Fuente makes them.
makes
APS
some.
makes them. Yeah, there's a couple different companies. Gran Habano makes some. It's a bundle cigar. You're throwing an Eats a Girl band on it and selling it to that crowd. It's a bachelor party cigar. It's a celebratory. I don't smoke, but maybe once every 10 years cigar.
I've seen it. I was like, I don't know if I want to smoke those.
Now, I do want to touch on something though, because Martin brought up something that you smoked the Patrimonio for your birthday because of the feeling on that cigar, right? The emotion behind it, meeting the Cuevas and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of going full circle back to your earlier question, Tony, about, YouTube cutting all these people out and all that stuff. I think that's where one of the biggest downfalls of that's going to come is the blog channels and the podcasts that interview the cigar manufacturers, makers, national sales directors, the faces of the cigar. I think that's where the biggest downfall comes. And again, no offense to Martin, I don't really give a crap what Martin or Bob the Cigar Guy or Tim, Cigar Show Tim, or any of that. I don't really care what you think about the cigar. I don't. It moves the needle maybe. And I already talked about that. I think the negativity moves the needle more than the positivity, and not in a good way for the industry as a whole. But it also doesn't mean lie about it, say it's a good cigar. But where we do miss is the interviews with Luis Cuevas and Mo Mali and Carlito and all these guys, Steve Saka. That's where we're going to lose out on, because the reality is more people smoke the emotion of the cigar than they smoke the cigar itself. And Cuevas is a good cigar, right? I think there's better cigars out there than a lot of the Cuevas stuff. I'm not going to lie about that. But when I smoke a Cuevas, I am celebrating the family behind that cigar. And I'm supporting the family behind that cigar. And I absolutely love and enjoy every bit of that experience, because I'm celebrating and supporting people that I love and enjoy. That's what makes that cigar. That's why the Diamond Crown for Val is up there, because it was gifted to him. It was a special experience. He was laughing, having a good time. He had a great time while smoking that cigar. And that could be one of the worst cigars that he's ever smoked. You don't know. But that time makes it a great cigar for him.
And I definitely see the same way. I mean, a lot of good videos have been taken off of it. I'm not even saying that, particular cigar review. I'm talking about those interviews, talk about those how-tos, talk about those debates, that kind of stuff. They're good videos, and I think that help new cigar smoker grow into this hobby. That's gone, right?
Yeah.
So, but with that said, since this channel is not going anywhere, we're not sponsored by anything. So what we will do is next time when we have meets, those biannual meets and not biannual, every 2-year meets and stuff like that, we'll drag Brendan to the side, and we'll drag one of the famous people onto the side, and we'll do some interview, give them some hard questions, and we'll leave it on YouTube, and then some people can continue to watch those and be educated by those.
Am I one of those famous people?
You are one of those famous people. You are one of those famous people, but you know that. But then you're on here all the time, so we can ask you questions straight on, but not necessary for those. You know, for example, Alec Cueva and stuff like that. Those stuff, it's gotta be very hard to find in the YouTube in the future.
Yeah. Well, you tell me when you want to get them on one of your shows, and I'll call them and we'll get them on the show. Like that, we'll make that happen. You tell me when you're ready for that, and but you want to promote it, get them on there. We'll get them on here.
Cool. See, we can continue to do that because we're not sponsored by anybody. I think it's more like a chit chat over here. So, you know, we can enjoy that kind of stuff and learn something from it. You know, obviously this channel is not always educational. It's a lot of time we're just talking shit, but at times we can learn something from it. For example, you know, today we probably learned a lot of things. You didn't even know that you can feed cigars to horses and so,
I learned that. My buddy has a horse rescue ranch, and I was up there, and the horse kept coming over to my cigar, and it had gone out, and I kept pulling it away, and he's like, "No, just give it to the horse," and I'm like, "No, bro, it's a freaking burnt cigar. Like, it's out." He's like, "Is it hot?" And I'm like, "No," and he goes, "Give it to him. It'll help with the worms."
did they actually?
What?
Do you have you seen them eat it? Did
Yeah,
they
they
eat
love
it?
them.
Oh
They
my
love
god.
it. Yeah.
So Bell says, I find myself buying Cuevas more probably because I meet Lewis and him talking the time, take the time to listen to me. Now, I would say Luis Cueva is like a different human being. He's almost alien. I mean, he and his mannerism and all that stuff is beyond a human being. Like when I met him, I was like, that kind of human exists. Damn, I can't even yell at him. I can't even get mad at him. There's no way. He doesn't give you the opportunity. He's too nice. So when you're talking to this guy, he will literally give you good answers. He will literally take the time and give you good answers and really thought about his answers. So I think talking to him helps a lot of people get a different view. And that's one of those things I think the cigar industry doesn't get to do a lot of because there's only one Cuevas. There's only one Lewis. Yeah. And then, you know, there's only so much chance of you talking to them. So,
listen, dude, I was driving in Colorado and I was on the 70 in the mountain roads and I fell asleep driving. If I didn't have the new car that actually pulled in the lane and stopped when somebody was going slower in front of me, like I probably would have died. It's the only time I've ever fallen asleep while driving. And I'm on the mountain roads and I fell asleep. It was late at night. I was trying to get to Denver and my car corrects and stops because I almost ran into the back of a semi truck, like slows down, right? And I remember I got out, I did jumping jacks, I did everything I could to wake up because I just got to get to my hotel in Denver. And it's like, dude, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning in Denver. I drive for another half an hour and I find myself dozing off and falling asleep again. And I said to myself, I go, I need to just talk to somebody. Who can I call that's still awake at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning? So I called Mo from Patina. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, just thinking about who can I call and so I called Mo and, you know, Mo answers and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm actually just laying in bed, dude, about to go to sleep. And I was like, can you talk to me for a little bit? I'm almost to my hotel, but I need somebody to just talk to, keep me awake. He got out of bed and talked to me for the next hour. Mind you, he's in Chicago. I'm trying to get to Denver. We're 2 hours apart from each other. It's 3 o'clock in the morning for him. By the time we're done, it's 4 o'clock in the morning for him. And he talked me all the way to the hotel. And remember, we had a great conversation. And then he goes, he's like, are you at the hotel yet? I said, dude, I just pulled in the parking lot. He's like, okay, click. But who else are you going to do that with? Like, that's in the cigar industry, an owner of a brand. And I know, like, we had him on my show before when we were doing Down the Nub. He was on the show and he was like kind of just down and quiet and seemed like really not interested. Mind you, it was 2 hours ahead. He's sitting in a garage that was at 30 degrees and taking his time at 30 degrees, freezing his ball up just to talk to us. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. What do you want? Cuevas is on the left. Just open the humidor. Yep. Sorry, Bible study's on the other side of the wall right now. Yeah, and so like you look at guys like that and you go, dude, what brand owner are you going to call at 3 o'clock in the morning their time and they're going to sit there and talk to you? Like, no, nobody else. Lewis would, Mo would, the guys from Warfighter, they would, to make sure that I'm there safe. Like, that means a lot to me, an absolute lot to me. You know what I mean?
I think that's the people don't see that, right? When people getting a cigar, like, you go out to a cigar shop, you pick up a cigar, you don't really see the people behind it, right? And like, I didn't meet a lot of them, but like I said, Luis Cueva has given me that impression so much. Like, I will never forget it in my lifetime. To meet someone that's that good of a manner, that nice of a guy. Like, it's really hard to find that kind of people. And then, surprise, you would never thought, like, a cigar brand owner and all that stuff, busy all the time, takes the time and sit down right next to Val and listen to him for like an hour. There's not many of those. And then it literally takes the time to answer a question that really has nothing to do with right?
Yeah.
So took the time and really answered the question. That's really cool. You know what I'm thinking that would be really cool is when Alex Cigar comes out, when everybody got their chance to buy it, I think everybody can save up the questions and we can have Alec on and ask him all the hard questions about that cigar. That would be really cool.
Let's do it. Consider it done.
There we go. See? Everybody, once you get that cigar, save your questions. Even better if it's hard. Let's give him some pressure, right? Get all the hard questions about the blend, about like, what you taste and why and all that stuff. Save your questions. And we'll give Alec a hard time that so much you'll be like, Brendan, never call me again.
What would actually be kind of fun is if you could bring the people on, like somebody like, Mike's got a question, he's smoking the cigar and he's got a question. It'd be kind of cool is if you could actually throw him on the screen and he can ask that question live and get that answer live. And then
we can do that. We can do that.
And get Val on or somebody.
I think that would be super cool for everybody to have an opportunity to ask that question and have them answer it. Their answer is going to be much better and more educational than hearing from someone else.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So let's plan to do that. That'll be really fun, I think.
Let's talk hat. What about hats?
Val wants the hat every time he buys a box or half a box or a bundle.
This hat?
He just likes hats.
He just likes hats.
Here, hold on. Time out.
Uh-oh.
Put my ears back in, Val. So I just got new hats made.
Shit. Take a look.
So they're all, everything I make is all new era, top of the line hats. Like, I don't like to do cheap hats. I think cheap hats suck. But these are a flat bill. I had to do the flat bills because the curved bills and the flex fits were all out of stock. But flat bill, nice dark gray with the Cigar Mechanic logo on the front. I do have these, Val. So if you want one, shoot me a message. We'll figure something out. You can either buy one basically at my cost, or we'll work something out where if you buy some stuff from Michael, then I'll send you one.
See, Val, I didn't even have that hat.
Nope.
You know what I have?
Do they come in kid size?
Do they come in kid size? One size fits all.
There's snapback.
That means nothing to me.
No, so that you can snap it all the way like yours, dude, where it's real short pinhead.
No, because they
bunch up, yeah.
That's a small ass hat.
I'm sure
well,
they do.
I'm pretty sure, if the size fits Michael, it fits you. So that's Michael.
No, Michael has a bigger head than I do.
Well, anyway, so let's plan that around, and like I say, we'll wait until after everybody get a chance to smoke the cigars. Well, maybe when at least when I receive it, because I definitely will buying it. So and then we can ask some questions. So save your questions, and then we'll announce when that's gonna happen ahead of time, so everybody can be here. If you want to jump on and ask them personally with voice, you can. If you want to type it there, you can. All right. And then we'll just plan that out when that happens. You guys have Brendan's word, so I'll hold him onto it. So, anyways,
so I'll tell Val this: like, it's not gonna be a great promo because for me to even break even on that hat, like, it's by the time I factor in like the wholesale cost of the cigars and then my commission on that and what I paid for that, Like, I'll tell you this, Val. If you buy 2 boxes of any of my brands from Michael, then I'll give you a hat.
There you go. I'll make sure to. When you do that, let me know. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. We'll get either Michael on it, or we'll get Brendan.
I'll ship it. I've actually got better shipping.
Those are nice. Any new media badge designs? Just saying.
Keeps asking for media. I told you, Mike, if you get to Vegas and you really want to get in, dude, so when I get to the shows, almost every one of my brands gives me a badge. So I usually walk out of that show or come into the show, and I've got like anywhere from 5 to 8 badges that have my name on it. They don't check names. They're not going to compare with an ID. So you show up, dude, and you want to get into the show for a day, I can give you one of my badges, and you can get into that show.
Just don't say you heard it from here.
Yeah, I don't care.
All right.
I'll let
Anyways,
you-
11 o'clock. I think we have a good conversation today. We learned a lot, and I'll definitely appreciate Brendan take the time to jump on because usually he's busy on Wednesdays. So, and this will happen again. You know, whenever you have time to jump on, you know, we can learn something every time. So we'll do that. So thanks for everybody who joined the show today. I mean, that's actually a lot more than usual people. So
Nice.
teasing the man.
You know-
a word.
Do you know where I got this cigar?
No.
Careful what you say. Don't get me flagged.
I got this from you.
Oh, did you?
Mhm.
Nice, man.
All right.
How's it smoking?
He's smoking.
How's it smoking?
That's good. I still have maybe 3 more in there.
Nice.
There we go. So yeah, we'll do this again, and obviously we'll have the show on Saturday. Hopefully my cough will go down more, or else I just have to keep drinking hot water or smoking from now on. I mean, Brendan will love that. So that's it for tonight. I'll see everybody on Saturday. See you again, Brendan and
Thank you, Tony.
Martin. Thanks for jumping on. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
See you guys.